For our nextLead Responsibility Week seminar that we've had going on this week, we've been looking at responsible leadership, social entrepreneurship. You can help form your own social business. We've looked at how NGOs and businesses can be alike. Our goal for this week is to provide talking points, to provide different ideas of leadership. So in this week we have panel debates, discussions, business cases, workshops, Q&A sessions, and networking.
Sustainability can indeed be very much a business case. I think that's what interface is an example of. That is possible, but you have to set have bold ambitions and let each individual aspire and find what is relevant for me in this as well. So make them part of the journey. I think that is some very important things I hope you will take with you.
Sustainability is a very holistic discipline, and so you need to be able to work with a very complex matter and in a holistic way, and that is very, very difficult. So we need a way of approaching it. And I mentioned during my presentation that we not only need the systems that we have been building up, we also need that the single person understand why is this important, and why should I contribute, and what do I think about this. And I think that companies that focus on these soft issues perhaps are the most successful companies. But I think we should remember to focus also on the individual understanding and the importance of values and cultures in companies in order to make this move forward.
So my name and company, I'm Nat Ware. I have the joy of leading 180 Degrees Consulting internationally. 180 Degrees is the world's largest student-driven consultancy. We work with socially conscious organizations all around the world, trying to help them overcome challenges they're facing and improve their effectiveness.
I think when people work in an organization for a long period of time, they often accept the way things are done. And I think there is benefit in having talented, capable students come into organizations to question the way things are done, to try to develop new and better ways of doing those. And over that time, we've helped several hundred organizations each year to improve the effectiveness of what they do. Organizations such as Red Cross with their marketing work. We worked with A21 in Ukraine on developing new models for social enterprises to provide employment to women subjected to sex slavery. So we've done a lot of work, and one of the things that I really love about 180 is that it recognizes that ideas are really important, and in many ways ideas are more important to making progress and more important to solving problems than raising money.
I think one thing that's important for students is that they recognize that the default way to make a difference shouldn't be just raising money and raising awareness, but should be trying to address the underlying causes of those problems, trying to develop new and better ways of doing things. I think it's important that we focus on innovation rather than just throw money at problems. And I think the best ideas and the best innovations are those that are win-win, those that create benefits for all parties involved. And I think that often we have the mindset that there needs to be a trade-off between a social return and a financial return, that you have to choose between making money and making a difference. But I don't think that's the case. I think that you can have both, and I don't think it's idealistic to say that. I think often the greatest way to achieve a financial return is to create products that are beneficial to consumers, and I think often the reverse is true. The best way to achieve a social impact is to do it in a financially viable manner.
All the possibility to see all those positive stories and all those ideas about social entrepreneurship, and to see that it's actually possible, how other people do it, and it's just really inspiring and make me feel, well, I should also do something.
We're having a workshop, 2 hours. We're going to have about 20 participants develop 4 different business plans for solving social problems.
Yeah, our business model and our value proposition is creating an online platform, an online community that's supposed to be an addition to the public school system, where students or pupils can actively choose to participate in clubs, online communities where they can, engage in whatever interest. We talk a lot about engineering, but it could be whatever, and they can online meet other students, pupils who have the same interests.
As I told you, I'm the CEO and the founder of the Danish Food Bank. We are part of distributing surplus food. We collect it from the food industry and give them a security to distribute this food instead of throwing it out. The fruit, where's the fruit? It's done. Okay, great, fantastic. The fruit is from fruit.dk. It is second-handed food. Our biggest challenge is to find the fundings for this. Of course, food companies give us millions of krona of food every single year. We still need to find the business model or the financial model on how this should work. We feed people that is in need. 450,000 kilos, the 3 vans, 42 organizations, 1 million meals. But the food industry has saved 1,890 tons of CO2, and they saved a lot of money. My advice would be do your research, and more research, and more research. Look into other business models, think out of the box, try to angle it and see it from the customer's side of, the investor's side of. What kind of question will they give you? What kind of issues do they have? For example, with the food industry, we know that the worst thing can happen is that they give us food in trust. That we either sell it to make a profit, or that somebody else will be sick of the food they give. And that's the worst case. They will end on the front page of the papers and everything is ruined. The best thing about a food bank is that I'm able to do a difference every single day. And it's the coolest job in the world.
My name is Louise Madsen, and I'm working in CARE Denmark and I'm mainly responsible for all our partnerships with business. There's a huge potential in these partnerships. There really is, and I believe in it. I've seen it work, but I've definitely also seen the challenges, and both in the partnership, but of course also local, where we implement the programs together. In CARE Denmark, we just launched a huge partnership with FDB, Coop, and what CARE is mainly doing is that we are helping Coop's 2 producers of food in Kenya, and we help them to strengthen their supply chain. Then we have another partnership. It's just to show you the differences in the partnerships. This is what we call a cost-related marketing campaign. It's a design with Årstiderne, the food company who makes these boxes. And we designed together this what we call Afrikassen. And it's a box full of products or food from Uganda. And then, of course, every time also sells one of these boxes, amount of the money or the sale is going to Care Danmark's work in Africa and Asia. I was asked to tell you about what are the challenges. And I would say in the past, the challenges between NGOs and businesses was that we didn't talk. We didn't talk at all. And the main reason we think in Care is that we have different languages and different cultures. And what have we learned from that in the NGO world? We have definitely learned that we have a lot in common. We have often the same visions, the same hope for the future of this world. We want to secure the access to water, we want to secure the access to food, but often we have different goals. But to reach these goals, we don't have to speak the same language. It takes a lot of courage and commitment for both parts. That's also important to say. It's not enough that it's only business who wants to learn the NGO's language. It's also the NGOs who needs to learn your language. And we are willing and very open-minded, but it takes time. It definitely does.
Wait a minute.
Yes! Super! Can you look at it out?
Yeah.
So
I'm just wondering, why am I at 8 o'clock in the morning at CBS filming yoga as a part of a leadership seminar on sustainability and responsibility?
What we find with yoga is that it allows you to lead yourself and then also to lead others. One of the things that we learn in our master's program, the MBA program, is that you need to lead yourself first through things like energy management, enough to eat, food, sleep, exercise, and this is a great way to exercise. And then there's also concepts in yoga that help you to learn to help others, like we've been doing in some of our yoga poses, helping other people out. And that's a really important tool for leadership as well, is that you need to lead yourself, but you also need to learn how to lead others.
That actually makes sense. Thank you. Continue as you were.
Well, my name is Tanya Ellis, and I'm the founder and director of a company called the Social Business Company, and we help entrepreneurs and companies create both economic and social value. And the key messages of my presentation today are really two things. The first key point is that today it is actually possible to create both economic and social value in a company. In fact, you need to be able to do both in order to exist in the future. And this is the reason why responsibility and sustainability is on the business agenda today. Big challenge for companies that are trying to revitalize their business models is to go from this model, this way of thinking corporate responsibility. We have our business here, and if we're fortunate to make a profit, then we can donate a bag of money for a good cause. And it doesn't matter what cause it is or how the money is spent, but then we can tick off the philanthropic box. We've done our part for society. And to shift to this model, where you incorporate responsibility and sustainability as a part of your business, or maybe even put it into the core of your business, as in the case of General Electric. So really using your core business skills to address problems and imbalances in society. And the other challenge is to make this a part of the entire company thinking. So you don't just put it in the corporate responsibility department, and this is where we think about ethics and responsibility. But if you go to the rest of the organization, nobody has a clue what you're talking about. The second point of my presentation is that the link, how do you put responsibility and sustainability into action, and how do you make it live in an organization? This is where the concept of a hardcore leadership comes into the picture, because it all really boils down to who you are and what you want to get out of your working life. So obviously leadership in the sense of a CEO, management in a company that are very much aware of why they want to create both economic and social value. That is key. But it's also very much about personal leadership. It's about you asking yourself, what do I want to get out of my work life? How do I want to put my values into action on a day-to-day basis? And in the ideal world, there should be a link between what it is that you want to do, the values that you have, and the mission that your company has as well. And this is where corporate social responsibility is not something that you do, it's something that you are.
But who am I? Who am I really? Together with that, at the personal existential level, we have questions: why am I here? What is a good life for me? What are my responsibilities? And when you start dealing with these questions, then you automatically transfer them to organizations. I would strongly suggest, although it's extremely difficult, that any company that is really going to be able to thrive must also, in some way or other, ask itself the question: who are we? Why are we here? What is a good life for us? And what are our responsibilities?